Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everyone. This is for anybody that leads a team. Maybe you have a company. Maybe you're in charge of a number of people. Maybe you're a C-suite executive. Doesn't really matter. What does matter is how you conduct the business you do. And it's been said that for every action, there's a reaction. We're going to look at the cause and effect as it relates to management. And that's through the eyes of somebody that helps people, coaches them along the way in many different areas. All of those people I described and more. And he's back with us. He's the man behind Masternomics. Martin Glin is on the program. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good, feeling good, and get ready to get my day going here in Alabama. But yeah, feeling good and positive about life in the future.
Is before we even jump into what we're going to talk about today, do you find that when you're writing from an area of positivity, that when things are like kind of off, in a split second, you could turn your head and things are good again? Once you get into that mindset, as opposed to, well, that happened, it wasn't exactly what I expected. You could marinate in that all day. You could be kind of bummed out. Or if you're writing with a more positive mindset, that happened, you process it. But literally, I find like sometimes I just turn my head. I'm like, oh yeah, things are okay over here. It's all good. It's a weird
Yeah.
kind of feeling. Do you experience that?
Yes, definitely. It because everything all we are the only thing we really have is perception, and how you perceive a thing is the way you're looking at it. It's kind of like I remember in science class, my science teacher, and we're studying the circle and the square, right? Is there really a difference? Only if you look at it on one level, right? Because you take that circle and it's 360 degrees. A square is composed of four 90-degree angles. So you can draw a line and turn the circle inside out and you got a square. So a lot of times we have to look at things from a different angle to get another perspective on it and get another feeling about it. And it's definitely important that we do that in business, because in business, when we're doing bad or we have issues, most of the time it's because we haven't looked at it from another perspective. We haven't looked at it from another
Mm.
angle, right? And a lot of times what you view as bad, if you look at it from another angle, of course, there's an opportunity for something to grow or something to shift. And so it's, once you look at a thing differently, what you're looking at is going to change. So we have to realize that we have that power and that ability.
And it's not that we're pushing things off, and not that we're walking around with the rose-colored glasses and just pretending everything is sunshine, roses and lollipops. It's fantastic. Butterflies are flying by. No, it's just like you said, a different way to look at it, and you can filter it. So, like, you could look at it through the eyes of gratitude. You could look at it through the
Mhm.
eyes of opportunity. You could look at it through the eyes of the universe doing what it needs to do. But
Right.
I feel once you process whatever happened over here, um, once you get in the mindset of being positive, this processing
Mhm.
time is quicker, and then and
Yes,
then you move
exactly.
forward. Cause and effect. How do you
Yes.
define those words?
Cause and effect. So the cause is the creator, right? It's the initiator. The effect is the creation or the outcome. If you look at it in that perspective and you say, well, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So whatever you put out, in whatever degree, you will receive something for what you put out.
Hmm.
If you look at it in the perspective of we were created by a creator, so we as ourselves have to look at it from that perspective, right? We are the creator and we're the creation. Cause and effect, meaning nothing just happens. So look at it in that aspect and say, if nothing just happens, there's a cause for it. If you're in a relationship and you say, my husband is no good, My wife is no good. My partner is no good. Why are they no good? They won't pay the bills. They won't do their part. Well, did they start off like that? Because you've been married for 5 years. So day one, were they not paying? Well, no, they used to pay all the bills. So something happened, right? The result or the effect is them not paying bills anymore. But they used to do it. What caused them to stop? And so when we're looking at problems, life, business, whatever, there is a reason that is the cause. Most of the time, we are the cause of the poor results in our life. Results, effects, same thing.
Mhm.
So if you're not happy with something in your life, there's power in ownership of you being the cause of that negative result that's happening over and over again. So when teaching people and developing people, the best way to help them develop is to show them the power that they have. They have the ability to create or cause anything that they want. And it's power in that because your life is just a reflection of the things that you've done or the decisions that you have made. So to get your life to the next level, you have to understand cause and effect. And the best way you start to do that, look at the effects of your thinking, which is your life. Look at the results you have in your business and realize you caused it. And that's scientific fact.
Do you feel that we're here, we're put on this earth for one major reason to create, and that in all different shapes and forms, of course, create more of us, but also create ideas, create our future, create everything's creation. Do you feel that way?
Yes, without a doubt. We are nothing but creative beings. And the thing is, we are always creating. We are always creating.
Mm.
But the reality is, what most of us, we're creating more of what we don't want. And that's because most people are stuck in a fear zone and they focus on what they don't like. So these are the thoughts that we're always creating things in our head, right? And that comes with assumption. So you assuming something is you creating a reality based off of your preconceived conceptions, right? And something simple is something like racism, right? Someone is racist or prejudiced, they're basing this off of whatever they already believe. And most of what they believe is somebody gave it to them. It's somebody else's ideology or experience. It's not their own experience. But once we as people, we start to develop and we start to have our own experience, which is truly spirituality, then we throw away what we were fed, and then we start to create our own consciousness and beliefs, and we become in control. And once we're in control, then we can create the reality that we want, and we'll get better effects, right? But the cause is always our thinking.
It's so interesting that you find somebody, let's say they're frustrated, they're complaining. Oh, I have a business idea. I'm trying to move this forward. It's not going to happen. I got that popped up, that popped up. Ah, jeez,
Yeah.
3 steps back. They may think they're not doing anything to move it forward because maybe they're frozen. Maybe they just said, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I got to figure this all out. But by doing that, they are creating something.
That's right.
And I
Yeah.
think we forget about that.
Yes, yes, yes. So, that goes back to us. We're always creating, right? And if you keep dwelling on a problem or dwelling on your fear, you're
Mm,
creating more problems and more fear.
yeah.
Um, in in life and business, everything is cause and effect. Everything happens for a reason, and then there's management, right? And so when we're talking about management of your business or your life, right? What we should focus on is the management of people, the development of people. I love Bob Proctor. If you study Bob Proctor, that's what he said. He said management was the development of people, not things. Meaning this. So if you're in a company and you're a manager,
Mm,
what you have to do is focus on the people that you're managing's mind. what should you be managing to them to see? To see themselves as successful in whatever they're supposed to be doing. So if I can show you how to see yourself as a successful salesperson, successful podcaster, successful barber, whatever you're doing, whatever the business is, I have to show you how to see yourself. And that management becomes leadership. Why? Because if I can't manage a crew, a team, a company, what happens? I lose it. So whatever we don't manage, we lose, right? That goes back to cause and effect. When you lose something, you mismanaged it, and you were the cause of it. Effects of you were
Interesting.
lost.
Interesting, Martin, when you look at that. Let's think about that for a second.
Yeah.
It's like you say it, I process it for everybody.
Yeah.
um, you mismanage something, you lose it. Okay, here's first thing that pops in my head: money.
Yeah.
You mismanage your money, what happens? You lose it. And
Yeah.
that, and when you think about it, it applies. You mismanage your health, you
That's
lose
right.
some of your health.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. It's sometimes I just laugh when you get these moments, right? Because it applies to everything. You cannot, like, if you don't manage something, you're gonna lose it. And when you think about, money, we'll stay on the money. Most people's problem is really not the money that they're making, it's the management of it, right? How do you relate to the money, right? And what are you doing specifically with the money? Do you know exactly what you want to do? And most people do not have definite goals. If you don't
Mm.
have a definite goal, you definitely don't have a definite purpose. So to acquire large amounts of money, and that's based off of whoever the person is, what you consider that, then you have to have definite, specific goals, and you have to manage what you have. It happens on every aspect, right? In a company, in the country, everything is management with the resources that you have. So in your household, right, the money that comes in, if you go through and itemize where the money is going out, you'll find that your problem is mismanagement.
Another example of this mismanagement: relationship.
Yeah.
What happens? You lose it.
Yeah.
Somebody strays, or you get divorced, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm hearing, and I want to confirm, if you're going to manage something, you always have to have a goal in mind. There always has to be a goal. Where am I going with that? Talk about money. What's my goal? To save, to have enough, etc. Relationship. What's my goal? Happy wife, happy life, whatever it might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Or if not, you're going to lose it.
Yes. Yeah.
Has to be a goal. You always have
Right.
to set a goal, no matter what it is.
Yeah. You have to have a goal. There's a saying: without goals, we wander aimlessly in life.
Hmm.
And think about that. If a person has no goal, and we all know people from all walks of life and experienced it through high school, college, friends, whatever. And you might have that one friend that, he's cool to be around or something, but he just always floating. It seems like he has nothing, he's never focused on one thing and got
Yep.
one thing done, And people that are without goals, they just float in life.
Yeah.
Floaters become drifters, and then someone else just becomes their creator, right? And they just, you know, take whatever is dished out to them, and they go with this and that, and they live a non-purposeful life. So we have to have goals, and in relationships, if you're in a relationship with someone, then they are your partner. And what messes up the relationship and your management is relation. So the key word in relationship is to relate. And so what happens is we stop relating with one another sometimes in a marriage or whatever in that relationship.
Hmm.
And therefore everything just turns to chaos. And then we look at the chaos so much and we say, oh, my life is chaos. But it all started with you. You stopped communicating. You stopped relating with the person, and we lost it.
Hmm. How do we ace this? Is it setting? Is it goal setting? What's the secret sauce here? Cause and effect.
Yeah, so cause and effect. First, realize that you are the creator. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to take ownership. You're never going to get anywhere if you don't take ownership and say, I have the power,
Yep.
right? I have that power. Once you do that, then goals come. And goals come from your desire, right? So it has to be goals of something that you desire that make you feel good, right? Make you feel great. That you know if you had it, you would be happy. And so you can't get anywhere in life without a goal, and the goal is not a real goal unless it's something that shifts you, unless it's something that moves you, and unless it's something that you have never done on a higher level. Once you
Hmm.
have that, then your whole being starts to always want to move towards the goal. In that process, there'll be, a lot of joy. There will be some bad times too. But because you have a goal, you won't drift and you won't just wander aimlessly. You will stay in control because you created the goal, you created the version of success. It was all created by you. So who's the cause? If you're the cause, and then you look at the goal and you say, well, the effect of me focusing on my goal is a great feeling and it's $100 or $1 million, right? So that's the formula.
Let's let's put the microscope on goals. So you said a true goal has to move you. Let's say somebody's a bookkeeper and they're at their
Yeah.
job and they're sitting there and they're saying, "All right, my goal today is I'm going to generate 42 invoices. Got to get 42 invoices done today. That's my goal." If everything is relative, but that might just be
Yeah.
I need to get that done. Um, it'll take stress off of me. Um, it's not really moving me. It's just what I need to do for my job. Is it
Mhm.
still count as a goal if it's just a I guess
It's
it moves you a little bit because you feel like you got something done. You feel like you have less stress, um, as opposed to, you know, coming up Monday, we're launching that new business and uh, we've got everything into place. I'm so excited. My goal is to get that done on Monday. That's moving somebody.
right, right. And great way you put that together because the problem with people is we don't know how to set goals, right? So
Uh,
technically, we would have to, if the goal is going to move you, it's going to be based off of what are you doing now. So if right now you're doing 35 invoices already, right? And I really could do more. I could really do 40 invoices, whatever, if this is the weekly or whatever. You could do that already. So if
mm,
your goal is, well, you know what, I do five more. My goal is 40 invoices. That goal is not really going to move you, right? Because, I mean, you could be doing that right now. That's easy. So it's not going to push you. Okay. So we have to set goals that will shift us, right? They will literally scare you, right? But your fear of doing it is because it's like, I've never done it, but guess what? I really want to do it. It's kind of like getting married, and people say, well, yeah, I want to get married, the thought of it, right? But when you really get down to it and you get closer to the wedding day, there's fear. But it's a different type of fear. It's a fear of, wow, I'm actually gonna do it. If somebody bungee jumps, it might be I
mm,
never done bungee
yeah.
jumping, but when I talk to people, they're like, oh yeah, it is a fear. But once you do it, oh, it's gonna be great. And I've accomplished my goal. It shifted me.
Let's go there. Because I was
Yeah.
gonna skydive over the summer.
Okay.
My son is 18, so now we can do it. And it just logistically it didn't work out. Shame on me. I should have pushed it to
Yeah.
make sure it got done. There was a little piece of me is like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
there was no avoiding it because somebody gave me a gift certificate for my birthday 2 years ago.
Mm.
I have to use it.
Okay.
So looking at that, yeah, skydiving as a goal, do you know when you're properly setting goals what it's going to feel like if you succeed? Where am I going with that? I know when I jump out of that plane, yeah, it's going to be some apprehension. I don't like spinning around, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I hope, it should be good. I'm not really that worried, but I
Yeah.
know once I hit the ground, I'm going to be like, I
Yeah.
blanking did it. I got the
Right.
pictures. I want to do it
Right.
again.
Right. Right.
Do you picture the payoff when it's a properly set goal?
That's what you have to do.
Okay.
That's what you have to do. It's all about for you in that aspect. It's that landing because you know you're gonna be like, wow, this is the most exuberating, and you went through the fear of when you're spinning around,
Yeah.
right? And so that's what we have to live in. We got to live in the end, right? Begin with the end in sight and stay there, right? And if it's money, then it's got to be something we've never done because it's got to push us. It's got to bring something out of you. It's got to, put an extra 2, 3 hours a day and to get that monetary goal. Guess what though? Every day that you get closer to that goal, you get more and more empowered. You get more and more empowered because you know yourself, man, I'm about to hit my goal and it's going to feel great. You've already
Yeah.
created the feeling in you. So you're living in that feeling. And if you could live in that feeling every day, right, you are the creator of the reality and you are the cause of that great feeling.
Mm.
We got that ability to keep doing it. And that's what we have to do. We have to keep doing it and living in that moment.
Go back to the invoices. Normally you do 35. Today you're going to do 42. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
I did 42. All right.
Right. Yeah.
Fabulous.
It didn't really shift you.
Right,
But if I,
right.
but what it takes is management would help you shift. Because if you're doing 35 invoices, and I say, I need you to do more. And you say, well, okay, Martin, well, I'm gonna push hard and get 40. I'm gonna say, no, I need you to do 50 invoices. I need you to do 50, right? I need you to do 50. And you're like, dang, man, I know I could do 40, but 50, oh man, that feeling right there. But then I tell you, because the thing is, you do 50 invoices, and I'm gonna give you a 10% increase on your payout.
Yeah.
Now, what you want is that money. So now you're feeling different. Like, well, if I go hard, if I get an extra 10% now, I'll be able to. I'm gonna get that new car. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna surprise my wife. I'm gonna surprise whoever. So now you begin to live in that feeling of hitting that goal. So now I've managed you. I'm showing you how to see yourself because I'm saying, Steve, you can do this. You're doing 35 invoices easy. I'm wondering, like, come on, Steve, look at your resume. Look at what you do. 50 invoices is nothing for you. So I'm helping you see
Yep.
yourself in a greater aspect. And that's what management is. I'm showing you're the cause of what's going on, Steve. You're the reason why we're sitting down having this talk because you're only doing 35 invoices. And come on, man, any John Doe off the street can do that. And so I have to show you how to see yourself. That's management.
And not just that you're trying to get more productivity. You see it in that person.
Right, right.
You know they can do
Yeah,
50.
yeah,
They've got it in them. They've got the experience. They've shown performance in other areas. We've got about 25 seconds, but I gotta
yeah.
ask this question. When you set the goals, are you essentially manifesting something?
You are. You're manifesting the reality that you want.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's what I'm feeling when we talk about it's got to move you. You've got to
Yeah,
feel the payoff of the goal. Um,
exactly.
and that to me, that's manifestation.
That's
You can
manifest.
taste it, feel it, smell it. It's
Yeah,
there.
that's it. That's
Hmm.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
on the ground already. I already jumped out of that plane,
Yeah, there you go. You landed.
and I didn't lose my lunch either. It's fantastic. How do we connect with you, Martin? If somebody's looking to really up their game in terms of their management skills and have somebody push them to achieve the right goals, how do we find you?
You find Masternomics on all platforms. Send me a direct email, masternomics1@gmail.com. And you can get directly in contact with me. And you can always, Facebook and stuff, send messages to Masternomics. Masternomics on every platform. Check out all the YouTube information that we put out, share, and pay it forward.
Always great talking with you. You just like you're the fire that ignites us because I'm now as we're talking, I have some goals that are floating out there, and one of them took a little step back for some reasons. But now I'm fired up to fire them up essentially,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that comes from your energy, and I appreciate it every time we get together.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.